The smaller the camera, the better the results. This is a complete and total taboo to the photography industry, especially with the marketing we've been fed. You see, we've been told that the larger the element, the larger the lens, the larger the body, it means better grip, better ergonomics, better performance, more comfort. And of course, it's going to be better for you in receiving clientele, keeping clientele, and just having more job opportunities as you continue and go on. And let me tell you, as someone who's been doing this for 10 years, as someone who is actually paid to travel across the U.S. to document things, and as someone who right now is working in a professional setting on assignment from a magazine to cover professional sports in 2 different entities, all that stuff that we've been fed is complete and total bullshit. There's nothing about a large camera that makes it better than a smaller camera, considering all values are similar or equal. An example is, of being realistic. A Canon R3, I'm not saying that is going to have similar results to a 1-inch sensor in low light. I'm not even going to say that. I'm not trying to come here and say a Fujifilm X-E4 is going to perform the same as a Canon R3 shooting a sporting event. I'm not crazy. I'm not hysterically stupid. What I am is just someone who's a realist, who doesn't buy into the propaganda that's given to us by camera manufacturers. And even more, I care about people not wasting their money on stupid shit they don't need. When I say the smaller the camera, the better the image, the first thing I want to point out is the fact that in a lot of cases, you can't even tell the difference between a larger camera and a smaller body camera. It doesn't even matter if the sensor output is the same, meaning APS-C, full frame, medium format, 24 megapixels, 50 megapixels. For the most part, if you're someone like me who's having their work printed in magazines, you're not going to be able to tell a huge difference between those unless you're shooting medium format versus anything else. Not going to be a difference whatsoever. Or you're doing large prints like the one behind me, because I believe you should print your work, not because you should be a pretentious photographer, but because it looks cool as shit. But I'm going to put up some images right now. Some of them are from a Canon 1DX Mark I, fantastic camera. Other full frame cameras as well, medium format cameras. And some of them are from APS-C cameras or Micro Four Third cameras. Now you may be saying, oh, it's because we're on the internet. Of course it's going to look all similar. That's not the point. The point is the cameras were able to do the job. See, I'm in professional settings taking professional photos of different people, places, things, etc., and I'm able to get a job done. So if there's no differentiator, if that's even a word, between full frame and APS-C and medium format, etc., in situations like this, until I'm pixel peeping at 300%, why people want to pixel peep at 300% makes no sense. Who's going to pay for a cropped image of someone's ass? I digress. Again, the point being, if you can't really tell a difference right here, and on printed paper, there's not a huge, vast valley of difference, especially when it comes to just getting the damn job done, why is it a big deal, big camera versus little camera? Second thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you now a whole bunch of photos from my personal life. For me doing street walks, hanging out with family, documenting, some personal endeavors that I've been on. I'm going to run those across right now. And I want you to notice something. None of these were shot with a GFX 100S. None of these were shot with my Canon 1DX Mark I. None of these were shot with my Canon EOS R. None of these were shot with the Nikon Z6 II. Look at the name of these cameras. For the most part, they're all really tiny as hell. Now, some of these may be shot on larger APS-C bodies because that's what I chose to do. But even then, that's smaller camera compared to their full frame or medium format counterparts. What's the reason behind that? Just because they're smaller, they're lighter, they're easier to take with me, they travel well, they fit in a pocket. All of these things that these larger cameras can't do when it comes to being able to be portable at all times makes these small cameras able to capture these images that I would otherwise not carry a camera and be able to capture. You see, the reason why the smaller the camera, the better the image has nothing to do with sensor technology and processing. I get it. An R3 is never going to get beat out by a Ricoh GR3 in any way, shape, or form. But what it is going to do for you and for me is beat it out in the one thing that is super key to a lot of things: availability. The best ability, in the words of my uncle Shannon Sharp, is availability. In sports, in any profession, and being, in an office, but even more in being right here in a moment to take a photo. You see, a lot of things, I can remember it with my mind and relay it. But to be able to have the ability to pull a camera out of my pocket and take a photo, that's something beautiful. That's something that's amazing. And that availability at all times means you're capturing the images you otherwise wouldn't be able to capture. And that, to me, makes it a better image than having no image. Again, availability is the best ability. We spend a lot of money on some camera gear, camera lenses, cameras, camera bodies, camera shit that just sits on a shelf. I've done it as well. The ability to have something lightweight and portable isn't just unique to the camera industry. We look for this for tripods with carbon fiber. We look for this in our cars. Again, carbon fiber hoods and things like that. We look for this with our cell phones. Yes, everyone likes a nice, small, or large cell phone with a large screen. But if we could have smaller bezels, if we could have a smaller size, make it lighter, make it not as cumbersome, it's always an exciting thing, isn't it? In a lot of our lives, we try to shrink down so many things so it's not heavy to us. It's not weighing us down, whether it's in a physical aspect or from a mental aspect. And in the same way, we kind of cater our lives to that simplicity, that easy ability to be able to take something with us that we would need because it doesn't take too much space. That way it can be an accessory to our life that isn't intrusive, but more than anything, it is something that brings value to our life in these moments. And that's what small cameras do. I see a whole bunch of people that are okay with a small camera for street photography, okay for just random moving around and documenting your life. But when it comes to professional work, we can't use that. We can't use it. It doesn't look professional enough. It doesn't get the results. I've shot sports on an XE4. I've shot sports on an XS10 just to prove the point that I could. On an X Pro 3, I shot for 2 years professional sporting events that I was commissioned for. Do you think anyone knew what camera I was shooting? They didn't. And in fact, my supervisor, Trey, didn't know that I was shooting on Fujifilm primarily until recently. He always just asked about the colors, always asked about how I got my grain to look beautiful. Are you using some kind of simulation or some kind of profile? None of that. It just comes out of the camera. See, these small cameras are getting more and more capable as we continue to go on. Fujifilm, more specifically, honestly, because they're the leader in this innovation. But even whenever you look at Ricoh Pentax and the GR system, which even though I hate their build on the Ricoh GRs, but when you look at their K system, it's smaller, still big, but that smaller size, that smaller sensor, those smaller lenses still pack a hell of a punch. You look at things from Nikon and some of their small bodies, and even with Sony with their A6000, their ZV-E1, people are starting to recognize the ability that small cameras have to bring joy and ease to the creative, to the professional, to the hobbyist, to everyone's life. Sony's ZV-1 is one of the greatest cameras I've ever owned, and I'll probably own one again just because I want to own one again because of the availability that it has in just by being in my pocket and being small enough to at a moment's notice pop it open, be able to vlog, be able to take photos, to be able to record, to be able to use B-roll. It's an essential thing that a lot of people in the industry, including Jason Roman, Jason from Grainy Days, Caleb from Bad Flashes, that they're even using themselves. Why? Because rather than carrying around a giant ass A7S III, which will give you way better image quality, you want to know what's better than just having the biggest and the best around your neck at all times? Is having something lightweight, out of the way, easy to carry around, and gets the damn job done. The smaller the camera, the better the images, because a small camera that's with you will catch all the images in better resolution and better detail than a large ass camera sitting at home. That being said, hope you guys understood where I'm coming from, and I hope you enjoyed this. Let's talk about it. And take it light, but take it. Have a good one.